Okay everybody, Andy with Impulse Recreation. Today I'm doing a review on some of the things I did to my Yamaha G29 Drive golf cart so that you can, if you want, purchase some of these items. I've got them linked down below. Some of the things are really beneficial for driving at night, like whip lights, rock lights, lighting upgrades. Other things are beneficial for how the actual unit drives. So let's go through some of the items that hopefully are still available that you can purchase. And then we're going to pull it outside and I'm going to show you how the lighting actually functions on this thing. So let's start with, I guess, the basics. I don't think they sell Mods wheels and tires on Amazon, and I don't have a partnership with Mods particularly or specifically. So some of these things like the custom seat, I bought the seat kit and the custom seat, and that was directly through Mods. So I don't have a way to give you guys a link for that. But I can do stuff like link the rear seat kit so you can try to duplicate this. Now there is a lot of sources, there's a lot of ways where of course you can purchase aftermarket accessories and parts for golf carts. So do what you want with this information, but hopefully I give you enough to be dangerous so you can go out there and you can make a stock golf cart function a little bit better, give you some more reliability, and just maybe look a little bit better than completely blown stock. So we've got wheels and tires, and I did a 3-inch lift kit. I do have a review on the 3-inch lift kit video, so there may be some turnover if you've seen some of these videos. If not, no big deal. So we do have the wheels and tires, we've got the lift kit. I do have a tail light, brake light, blinker, headlight, and horn system that I installed on this, and I love it. The horn, I think I need to replace. I don't know if I damaged the baffle or if it just came from the factory sounding kind of weird. I'll do a review. When I'm doing the lighting outside, I'll honk the horn. It sounds like a dying goose. It doesn't sound good. But I love the function of having blinkers, headlights, and it's basically like street legal, depending on what state you're from. That's not a problem to be able to have a golf cart cruising around in a low-speed vehicle neighborhood. That's not an issue. So I take this golf cart all over the place, and it works great. So a big fan of that system. I did replace the steering wheel. I'll link that down below. Huge fan of the steering wheel. I put the steering wheel on boats. I've put it on several golf carts and several boats, and I love it. I think it looks good, it's clean. I'll do a little video of that, showing you guys that. Under the seat, there's a lot going on right now. So in the future, I dream of getting some kind of a high-powered, motor or a speed controller motor combo where I convert and it's an AC instead of DC. There's all that good stuff out there, but it's thousands of dollars. So I have a completely stock speed controller and motor, and I have a lead time. It is a 48 volts, so it's a 52, I think a 52.7 is what they stamp and rate the battery at. 100 amp hour battery, and I get loads of miles out of that battery. Now you have to make sure you take care of the battery, and it's really simple and easy to do. Just don't store it at 100%. And don't drain it to dead and leave it there. There's a battery management system and there's an app, and I think it works awesome. I'm a huge fan of lead time batteries. So I have the big drive battery, and I did have a converter. So that's the cheap way of doing it, where if you need to run accessories that need 12 volts, you buy this converter and it drops your 48 volt system down to 12 volts. You can certainly do that. I wanted to get the maximum amount of mileage out of this battery. So I have a lead time 12 volt, 100 amp hour battery, and that is my sole dedicated accessory battery. So I'll show you guys under the seat. Under the seat I also have a EK Eno King is the brand. Now I have their floodlight / spotlight combo mounted up underneath the awning, and I have their 9-gang switch system. And the 9-gang switch system allows me to tap in and have buttons on my dash so I can turn on and off just the whip lights or just the rock lights or the headlight system. And there's a lot more, obviously, spots that I haven't fully utilized, but I'm a super big fan of that. The only thing I ran into for a snafu on installing it was I needed to hook up the blue 12 volt accessory wire directly to 12 volts. And it's not really clear in the instructions that you need to hook it up because it just is labeled as accessory wire. That has to go to constant 12 volts in order to power the lighting system so that you can power your switch. Let's see what else. It does have a custom paint job. It's the Nardo gray color scheme, and we do have forged carbon fiber on the side skirts, the front bumper, the motor cover at the back. That's just stuff that we've done that's just kind of fun. Yeah, forged carbon handles. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should mention before we actually get into showing you the lights. I think the lights look awesome. My kids love it. It's super fun in the neighborhood. If you go trick-or-treating and you're driving around the neighborhood and you want to have it all Halloween themed, you can change the color of everything. You can make it dance to music. So I'm going to link each individual thing that I have on here. I'll link the floodlight. I'll link the whip lights. I'll link the rock lights. I'll link the EK Eno King 9-gang switch. So hopefully this will give you guys enough to be dangerous if you want to purchase some of these accessories. I do get a little bit of kickback from Amazon. It's not like extraordinary, crazy money, but I'd appreciate it if you did purchase through my link. That's a way for me to make a little money and to support the channel. Let's go ahead and pull this thing outside, and if I run into something else that I've done, or if you guys see something that's done to this and you have questions on it, leave a comment, let me know, and I will happily respond. Oh yeah, we've got, I think it's the 10 LOL side mirrors, and then I've got two different types of phone mounts. So the one I think is like Desert Fox, and I think this was an Amazon special phone mount, so I can link those if I can find them. In addition, the windshield actually came on the golf cart. The last thing is we did paint correct and ceramic coat everything on this. So we ceramic coated the wheels, we've ceramic coated all of the paint, and that just makes it a lot easier to wash it. So I used mostly Geon products. I don't know if the camera's picking up. I've got a whole wall of stuff that I've bought and that I have on hand because I love detailing and I love keeping stuff clean. That is a game changer if you want to make cleaning stuff easier. Now, it's not a bulletproof product. You're not gonna, keep scratches from happening and damaging your paint, but it's really good for sun fading. We actually polished this windshield, which was in super rough shape, and then ceramic coated it, and it made a huge difference. So that's something to keep in mind if you care about stuff like that. If not, no big deal. So let's go ahead and pull this thing outside, and I'll show you guys some of the cool lighting. I'll actually show you some of the things on the golf cart first so you can see it in light. And I think it's now dark enough where we can show the lighting off outside in the dark. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start with the whip lights. I absolutely love these whip lights, and the really cool thing about them, they're super bright. I feel like they're super reliable. Let's show you how cool this is. Can I do this one hand? I should have kept the tripod on. So these, if you have them on the top of a side-by-side or a vehicle, for example, you don't want to run your whip light into a garage door. So you simply pull up on this billet clasp. That doesn't kill the power, but then you can set them down. So I love that feature. I like the design. It's very nice, strong billet clasp with a simple union. How am I doing on my filming? Good grief. I'm a big fan of these. They're really cool. Yep, there we go. So that's huge. I think that's pretty major. I love the seats. They've held up super well. So if you guys are looking for a high quality seat, shout out to Mods. What does this say? Yeah, Mods. So big fan. We did the little purple kind of accent piping on it. These things are spectacular. I would highly recommend them. Pretty simple to install, pretty easy. And then this is a Mods actual rear seat setup. So you can have it where you're hauling stuff or seats in the back. I love the wheels. The tires actually are not super loud. Most of my driving is on pavement, and they're like silent. So that's something to keep in mind. They look sort of aggressive, but they are not too noisy. So I'm a big fan. Definitely would recommend these. Those are sweet. Phone mount stuff, I don't think this is something we need to spend too much time on. I think this is a bike phone mount, and then that is the Desert Fox phone mount that actually works really well on here. This is the floodlight. So this is the spot floodlight, and I have it hooked up, and it is actually hooked up and powered by the EK Eno King 9-gang switch. This is bright white, so it actually is a flood and a spot, and this thing puts out some serious light. I did have to, I think I did all screws on the headlight setup for the front, but at the rear, I ended up drilling and doing screws, and I did a rivet. So I should have probably put in a black rivet, but that way I could just hold it in place. They're a little bit difficult, and it is kind of scary to actually cut your plastics, but it wasn't too bad. And the wiring part of it, that's really simple. So the rock lights, let's see if I can show you guys this. I don't know if I have the best lighting. So we do have the rock lights mounted above each wheel, and then on the frame, we have one there, and we have one there. So there's 8 rock lights on this, and I can link the rock light company as well. This is just the controller for the King 9-gang switch. Now they offer you a whole bunch of stickers, so we've got combo. This is my floodlight. I have not put the sticker on here yet. This one is for my headlight blinker horn system. Obviously the rock lights, that's underglow. Auxiliary is for my, this is just a 12-volt charger for hooking up phones. And then the whip lights. So that's pretty cool. Very simple, very easy to use. And I love that we can just have it all right there. Let's go ahead and show you under the seat. So this is the big drive battery. Okay, what does it say here? Yeah, 51.2. So technically that's your 48 volt, 100 amp hour battery for driving the golf cart. And then this is the 100 amp hour just accessory battery. I did put in a breaker that you can kill, so you're not giving constant power to your King. This is the switch system. So this is the fuse panel. And that's the blue wire I was talking about, where you want to make sure you run that to 12 volts because it wouldn't work. And I was so confused, but it was pretty simple to fix and figure that out. That's basically it for underneath. I did have a bus bar system that I put in sort of in a way where I ran wires then to my controller, and then the wires went from the bus bar obviously to the battery. So relatively simple stuff, not a big deal, but they are like, they're protected in some way. They're kind of fancy. I don't really get it, but okay, let's go ahead. Oh, the last thing, I guess. So the blinker does come with your headlight setup, and then this is the steering wheel, and I'm a huge fan. Didn't have to do any crazy modifications. Just pulled the screws out, removed that kind of ugly, weird steering wheel, threw this one on. Big fan. Okay, let's go ahead, pull it outside. Okay, the frogs are extremely loud, so hopefully you guys can hear me talking when I am trying to explain what I'm turning on and functioning on the golf cart, but I'm gonna talk by the phone real close here, real quick. I'm gonna have the whip lights on, the rock lights, the headlights, and then I'll turn the camera and show you the floodlight. That's basically all you guys need to see in the dark, just so you can see how it looks. All right, that's the underglow. And then we'll fire on the whip lights. I'm gonna turn on the power for my headlight system. Okay, hopefully the camera's picking this up. Let's go ahead and pick a color. I'm just gonna do white on white. So white and white, there we go. You do get remotes for each of these systems. So your rock light system, you've got red, green, blue, white of course, an orange, yellow, like a cyan, and pink. And then same thing, now there's like thousands of colors you can select from. LED lights and the technology for LEDs are awesome. You've got flash modes. There's so much you can do with these. It's really awesome. Same thing goes with the whip lights. Really bright, very intense light. I think it's awesome. It looks incredible in my opinion. And it's kind of a safety thing. So if you do stuff like ride in the dunes, or you've got a need to be extra lit and to show off your ride or your machine, highly recommend stuff like this. And you can make them dance to music. If you're talking, they'll do fluctuations. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. I mean, there's a lot. So I'm a huge fan. Would highly recommend. I think it looks great. Let's go ahead and show you what the headlight system looks like with the blinkers. You got a hazard switch and everything like that. And then I'll show you the headlight power next. So here we'll set this down. We are powered, so now we've got a switch that I mounted, and that is your actual hazards. So here you can see The hazards actually function, which is pretty sweet. Super nice, whoa, super nice, high quality LEDs. We can kill that. So then of course that's your blinker system. Your horn, here's the horn that I was talking about. That's a sickly sounding horn. All right, you got your headlights. So they actually are pretty decent as far as power goes and light emittance. I feel like that's a pretty decent safety thing. I did mount a brake switch on the pedal too, so when you hit your brake, you hear a little click and your brakes function. That's pretty cool. I'll kill the headlights. We'll fire up our floodlight here. And you can see, because I've got it directioned down, I kind of mounted it in a way where it wouldn't be something that's crazy. I wanted it to be a little bit more sleek and not showing off that we've got a light there, but you can see the beam through the dust and the bugs and the haze. It's a flood and a spotlight, and that thing is wicked bright. So now you can totally see. I also didn't want to blind vehicles and people with having a light shining straight out, and I didn't want it to go above the golf cart. I wanted it to be very slim fit, and the EK Eno King light itself actually is really cool because it is so thin, and I could get that beam to go below the awning, the roof on the golf cart. Those are the mirrors. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you guys for the review on the golf cart. Pretty cool. Definitely a fan of the lighting. I'm a big fan. Would definitely recommend these upgrades. I've been very pleased, and everything is really serviceable. It's super easy to install and work with. Just a little bit of time and effort, and you got yourself a pretty cool golf cart, side-by-side, truck, you name it. The links are down below. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.